Hi YouTube, it's Darthsteve333 here again with another pickups video. I'm going to crack straight into it. It's been about a 3-week gap since my last one, so it's been an interesting few weeks. I haven't been so flush as recently, so I've been sort of picking around and finding the odd thing here and there. Had a couple of good finds along the way. So where to start? I'll start with these. Found these for 50p each in a local cash generator type place. I think I've mentioned it before. Got one of these already, don't have the other three. The one I've got already is juiced for the PS2. I've got that basically because it's a black label, so to speak, rather than a platinum. It's complete. The other three, Crash and Burn, Big Mother Truckers 2, and Enthusia Professional Racing. Obviously whoever traded those in must have been a bit of a racing fan, so they were 50p each, so I was quite happy with those. Next was another charity shop. Again, these are actually in much better condition generally than the other ones I picked up a moment ago. They are sort of fair to middling type condition. These are in great condition. As you can see, I've got them for 99p each. So we've got Grand Theft Auto City, Vice City Stories, Colin McRae Rally 04, Outrun 2006 Coast to Coast, Tekken 5 Platinum, and Simpsons Hit and Run Platinum. So they were pretty good. I think in some instances the black label versions will probably be upgrades to the ones I've already got. So fairly early on into this video, excuse me Mo, I'm going to sort of go into one of the best bits of the last 3 weeks, and that is one of the charity shops in the town where I work. Basically every now and again they get a little bit of a treasure trove, but you have to be lucky in that you find them at the right time, because I think there are some other people that go around and sort of scoop everything up as well. So anyway, I'll launch straight into it. These are all 99p each. Let's see. So we've got Grand Theft Auto 3, Grand Theft Auto Vice City, Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, Simpsons Road Rage, Lego Star Wars, Lego Star Wars 2, and three I'm most pleased with. I'm again struggling to work out whether these are in better nick than my existing ones. Final Fantasy X-2 or X2 and Final Fantasy 12. And I've got the second one but not the first one of this. I used to have it, but very pleased to pick it up again. It's Drakengard. So they were all 99p each, so very happy with those. The other part to this pickup video is that I found a fair number of other games there as well. So I've been sort of basically dutifully returning there every so often. I've asked behind the counter, I sort of said when buying some of these, don't suppose you have any more? I got the brush off basically. I was told, oh we got a few more I think, but we rotate the stock fairly regularly, so hey ho. One thing I did find, which I do already have, but this is the third time I've got this actually. My first one I gave to a friend, so then I found another one at the car boot in reasonable condition, which I've held on to myself, but I'll trade that one in now and keep this one, because it is the Xbox One Rare Replay. As you can see, still sealed, so I'll be cracking that open soon. This was $2.99, so I'll be cracking that open and I'll trade in my existing one, which is in obviously slightly worse condition than a brand new one. So anyway, that was $2.99. So onto the PS1 games, and found a decent stack. This was the most expensive of them all. I didn't mind paying the extra for this because I very rarely have seen it. It is mist. That was being sold for $4.99, so I thought, why not? And after all, in the preceding days, I'd picked up enough games at a good enough price in the first place, so I thought it's only fair. The other one was Toka World Touring Cars. Now I've got Toka 2 and Toka 1, or Toka, I don't know how you pronounce it, so it's nice to get that. Next I got Tomb Raider, Tomb Raider 2, Tomb Raider 3, and Tomb Raider Last Revelation, Tomb Raider 4, you might want to call it. All of these are the PS1 games, were $1.99 each, so again very happy to get those. I've got Quake 2, and these next ones part of the series. I've got the first two but not the third. Third is a platinum, but I can live with that for the time being. Siphon Filter, Siphon Filter 2, Siphon Filter 3, which is the one I don't already have, so the other two will get compared to my existing ones, and obviously I'll keep the better of the two, and the third one I'll keep. Next, Black Dawn, Blast or Be Blasted. Don't have that, so it's going to be worth a punt. Civilization 2. I've got that, what was it, for the Amiga or the ST? Got it for one of the Amiga or the ST, or I could be thinking of Civilization 1 actually. Yeah, I am. I think Civilization 2 I first got for the PC, so way back in the day. The last three PS1 games are Legacy of Kain Soul Reaver with the lenticular picture. I don't know if you can see that on camera, but I love that. It's really good. Silent Hill, and one which I have already but incomplete. Basically it's missing the instruction manual, or my existing one is missing the instruction manual and the front inlay, so I'm very pleased to find this. It's Hogs of War. And as you can see, there we go. Whoever had these was good at looking after them, so very well done to them, and thank you very much. So yeah, very pleased to pick those up. So moving on, I bought a Dreamcast game from a Facebook group, one that I've been after for a while. I do have it from the PS2 and the follow-up for the PS2, but not for the Dreamcast, and it is Headhunter. I think I paid £4 or £5 for that, which I was very happy with, because I think it goes for a bit more than that. We went on a day trip, found this in a second-hand shop for a tenner, and I've been looking out for this for a good price for a while, and I thought they've obviously got their prices wrong on this, so I picked this up. It is Mad Max for the Xbox One. This is a present from my wife, which I haven't actually had the time to go in and play yet. Reason for that is obviously the football's been on, and the usual reasons of coming out from work knackered and so on. And at the present time, my wife's been, every time I've turned the PS4 on, she's been wanting me to leap in and help her in various Destiny missions. So she did say to me the other day, "Oh, you haven't played Doom yet?" I says, "Well, that's because I keep having to leap in and help you on Destiny." "Oh, right, okay." Anyway, very grateful to her for it, and I will be playing this very soon. And the much vaunted test of the game capture system, the Hopag HD PVR2 that I got a few weeks back, will be tested with this to get my first impressions. And if I don't make a total pig's ear out of it, I'll hopefully post that up on YouTube in the not too distant future, maybe later today. Doom. So, yes. Right, next. These were all from one of the local cash converters. Picked up on a whim, really. I've obviously got sort of versions of this already. Obviously my version of this is much better. Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess, which I do have on the Wii already, and on the GameCube, and my copy is much better, but I thought I'll get that for trading. Fallout New Vegas Ultimate Edition. I've got normal New Vegas, but not the Ultimate Edition, so that's good. That gives me the expansions. Bully Scholarship Edition, which I think is still fairly well sought after. Again, my copy is a bit better than that, so I'll tidy that up, trade it in. And these two, which I thought reasonably priced. So I thought I'll have these and play them. Didn't want to pay full price for this one, especially when it was released, because I thought it's perhaps a little over the top. It is Mortal Kombat X or 10. I'm looking forward to giving that a go. But as with a lot of fighting games, they tend to come down in price quite quickly. And this one, which I got for the Xbox 360 already, but I did fancy seeing what it was like on the next gen system, so GTA 5. And obviously you've got the GTA Online on it as well, so that was 20, so happy enough to get that. Always planned to, but I didn't want to pay full whack for it, having already got it for the 360. So next, these were from the Recycle Centre. Unusually, they've got a Dreamcast in there, and I could see a couple of game boxes. It didn't look the best looked after in the world, and I did inquire as to how much the Dreamcast was, and I did try and go back for it, but then it closed because I couldn't get out of work quick enough, because someone obviously thought it was a good idea to phone at 30 seconds to 5 o'clock with a long drawn out question. Anyway, that's beside the point. So you'd think that was ready to rumble to boxing, and looking in the case, you'd see the instructions for it and a bit of blurb. But the actual game in there is Pro Pinball Trilogy, which is actually a game I don't have yet, so that will do for the meantime until I get the actual game. The other one is Complete, Crazy Taxi, which again I do have, but there you go. I do have a couple of spare Dreamcasts, which I'll keep telling myself one day I will move on. There's the instructions. So these would be good for, well, this would be good for bundling with it, to give someone, whoever buys it, something to play. The rest of the Recycle Centre stuff, I think, and yet another copy of Sims 2, which always trades for 3 or 4 quid. And these are a couple of games that I just can't leave behind. I can't remember for certain if these were Recycle Centre or not, but Red Dead Redemption and Far Cry 3. Very good games. Find it very difficult to leave them behind at £1 each. So again, this is underrated. It's also in a FIFA box, but that's Fuse, just the disc only in there. Do have that one ready. Star Wars: The Complete Saga, which I'll be trading in. I do have this already. It will be CEX credit for me. And Titanfall, which I do have for the Xbox One, but I sort of bought that out of curiosity as much as anything. Just the disc and the receipt. Yeah, curiosity to see how it compares to the Xbox One version. Anyway, so quite pleased to get them. Next, saw this in a charity shop. Well, actually, I saw a boxed PS2 in a charity shop. Looked at the box and it had NTSCU on the box. I thought, oh wow, this is a bit curious. So I took it up to the counter, asked if I could have a look at it to see if it was actually an American version. Opened it up and it wasn't, so not sure how an American box got coupled up with a domestic or PAL version PS2, but anyway, I sort of put it back in the box and says, yeah, I've already got more than one of these already. She says, we have got another one out the back, so I says, oh, do you mind if I have a look at that? Oh, she brought back this, which was basically just loose, no power leads, I don't think, no joypads. Did have a copy of Tekken 5 in it, and it works okay, but they asked a tenner for this, and it is another UK version. But the reason I got this was because it's got the network adapter on it, which is a very useful bit of kit, because although it's not particularly useful for getting online so much these days, it is very good for putting your own hard drive in. So you can install using the HD loader, you can install your games to the hard drive, save wear and tear on your laser, and basically you've got, you know, I think my existing one has got an 80 gig drive in there, so I've got a good number of games in there, so I can just turn the PS2 on, select my game, get straight into it, and obviously saves wear and tear on the laser and on digging out the discs. So use that for obviously my most played PS2 games. So yeah, I picked up another one of them because it was worth it just for the network adapter alone. So moving on. Saw one of Tootie's mates at Car Boot probably about 3 weeks ago now, and I'm really sorry, I've forgotten your name. I am absolutely terrible with names, so if I can find out what your name is from one of Tootie's videos, I'll post it down here or something, so apologies for that, really sorry. Had a good chat actually. Anyway, that particular Car Boot seemed to be packed out with people scooping up the games, not to the least someone who's got a stall of their own, so yeah, it was a bit irritating, but I've just had this moment of deja vu. I can't think if I've actually mentioned this previous or not, so apologies if I have. I might have even mentioned these games previously. In fact, the more I think about it, I think the more positive I am that I have, so I'll skip through these very quick. Right, these are the things I got anyway. There wasn't a lot there because people were scooping everything up by the armfuls. Anyway, PlayStation AV cable in the box. I'm sure I've done this before. Puppeteer, PS3, promo version. Silent Hill 2, PS2, Ratchet and Clank, Crash Bandicoot: The Wrath of Cortex, Metal Gear Solid 3, Fahrenheit, Dark Watch, Stake Fortune Fighters, Outrun 2, and Shinobi for the Master System. I'm sure I've said all them previous, so really sorry if I have. Anyway, moving on to the next thing. These were from last weekend. I went a little further afield, just for a change, on a Saturday, which I'll come back to a bit later, because anyway, yeah, I'll come back to it a bit later. Found an assortment of things. I've got Grudge Warriors for PS1, a couple of films. This I'll be keeping for myself, Akira. That was £2. This also was £2, which I did pick up the other week, so I will keep one and I'll trade in the other. So, The Girl Who Leapt Through Time. That was they were actually being sold by a couple that were making their own short film, so they were selling various bits and bobs to raise the funds for that. I understand they managed to reach their total for that. I forget the name of the thing, but yeah, they seemed a nice couple, so best of luck to them. So yeah, anyway, moving on. A couple of things I've seen, for example, Metal Jesus go on about this game. I think it's got a slightly different name in the US. It's Splashdown. I think in America it's called Splashdown Rides Gone Wild. But it looks pretty good fun, so I'll give it a go. I think that was 50p, as were all of these, I think. So Richard Burns Rally, another rally game. WRC Rally Evolved, and I've got the second one of these for the original Xbox, so quite happy to get the first. It's X-Men Legends, and always with 50p. So they were from a different car boot, nothing particularly to shout about, but yeah, it was nice to see something different. And there didn't seem to be, crucially, quite so many resellers, scalpers, lizards, whatever you want to call them, milling around there. So that was a pleasant change. So this was a couple of weeks ago from the local crappy car boot. Got these three. I've been eyeing up the first two for some time. I've got this one just disc and instructions only, so I did want to complete it. So Mobile Suit Gundam, target in sight. This was on PS Plus, I think, so technically I've got it, but I like the physical copy. It's Dragon's Dogma. And Minecraft PlayStation 3 edition, which I will be moving on because I've already got Minecraft for the Xbox 360, which I don't play. And basically, if I trade in that, it pays for them. So that's good. So they were £3 each, so £9 altogether. Or was it £8? Did I knock him down? I think I knocked him down to 8. Anyway, moving on. Couple of odds and sods from the really shit on the doorstep car boot. PlayStation component cable, and very pleased to find this actually. This was buried. Can't quite remember the specifics of this, but there was someone sniffing around and I managed to see it. I've got the platinum version, which is a bit of a scratched disc. Plays okay, but this is much better. Bugs Bunny Lost in Time. I didn't realise how much this goes for on Fleabay. But, yeah, it's quite a valuable game apparently. Anyway, I'm quite happy with it because I've got a black label version for the collection. Another couple of odds and sods from that same car boot. Onimusha Warlords, which I only picked up the other week, so I thought I'd pick that up and maybe move the best of them, the least good of them on. Manhunt 2 for the Wii, I think that was 50p. Unreal Tournament for the PC, which is the special edition, missing the sleeve. Like there's like a acrylic type of sleeve that goes around it. Picked it up mainly because it comes with a little art book, and yeah, I think it's also got the Unreal Tournament construction set. I'll just cover that. It's also got bonus DVD content, which gives you some hints and tips on creating levels. So I think that was £1 or 50p. So I'm quite happy to pay that for that. And I did used to enjoy the original PC Unreal Tournament. I understand they're bringing out a new one in a May, quite soon. So if it captures the feel of the first one, I'll be very happy. I think they sort of made it too bloated with too many vehicles, too many modes and so on as they went through Unreal Tournament 2003, 2004. So anyway, getting off topic, quite pleased to find it. Anyway, right, moving on, last few things, bear with me. These two I found about 2 weeks back at the local on my doorstep car boot. I'm quite pleased to find these two. Got Grid 2 and Lost Planet 3. They were, I think he was saying £3 each, and I sort of said £5 for the two. He says yeah, so quite pleased to have that. I think I have Grid 2 already, but I don't have Lost Planet 3, so happy with them. And something which I'd only been looking at the previous day, because I have a voucher for Maplin that my brother gave me for Christmas. I did try and buy like a little tiny camera, which I was trying to pick up footage of pickups while I was out and about, and it turned out the camera was absolutely shite, so I took that back, got a refund. So guess what, got another gift card. We've got 20 quid on it, and I cannot find anything in Maplin that I'm interested in buying. I did see one of these though, and I thought, well, maybe I should put it towards that, and it might help for when I'm doing streaming. Fingers crossed. Anyway, lo and behold, the next day at the car boot, see one of these for a £5. It's a podcast microphone, USB, so for a £5 as opposed to, I think it was 35-40 quid in Maplin. I love that, thank you. So hopefully that will pick up my voice well and enable me to still have the sounds of the game running. I've been doing a bit of reading up and watching of YouTube videos on how you set all this stuff up. So I'm going to obviously be an absolute novice. So anyway, I heard that having a dedicated microphone helps. So provided that works and provided DVR works, then yeah, we might get some streaming soon. Streaming, Twitch, I don't know. Anyway, back to the point. Here's a couple of things from yesterday. What was this? This was £2. Skate 3. I might hold on to it, might trade it. Pleased to find this, even in the state it's in. So basically, there's this guy who's been at the car boot for the last couple of weeks he's got a box full of cases, and it looks like there's some decent stuff in there, but you open all the games and there's no discs in there. So it sort of lessens the impact of what he's got in there. But amongst those, he did have a couple of PlayStation games. One of them was Stupid Little 2, which I've not really got any interest in buying. However, he got this. It's Jumping Flash, which is an early release PlayStation game I don't have. Never played it. Played a demo of it at the time. Never actually owned it. Never played the full game. And I've been looking for it for a while. Only problem is it's missing the front inlay and obviously the instructions. The disc is reasonable enough condition, so I'm happy enough to pick that up as a placeholder for the meantime until I can find a better copy. So Jumping Flash, and that was 50p. He wanted £1 for it. I says, £1? I says, it's half missing. I says, would you take 50p? He says, yeah, go on then. So fair enough. Can't grumble for 50p. So last few things. Apologies there, you might have had a slight jump cut. My camera seems to have stopped recording a few seconds ago, so attempting to complete the video. Right, so going back to yesterday, I found a couple of things. First thing I found was a 16 port network switch. I do have an 8 port and an 8 port in here and 4 ports in the other room, which is for my wife's stuff. Thought this would make a good spare. If either of those goes down, obviously it's got a fair number more ports than the existing ones, but can't do any harm to have a spare one. It cost me £3 and they're sort of about 40 quid to pick up if you get one new or off eBay even, so quite happy with that. Other couple of things. What caught my eye originally on these two was Sonic Chronicles: The Dark Brotherhood, made by BioWare. So that's, I can't recall seeing that particularly often, so I thought, well, I'm going to get that, give it a go. It might be good. Hopefully it'll be good because it's BioWare. Obviously I do rate their stuff, even though I've not been able to get on with the first Mass Effect particularly well. Keep trying it, keep getting so far. It's not really, the bug hasn't bitten yet, so shall we say. But I'm particularly OCD in that I like to, if there's something that's out there that's a trilogy, I like to play 1, 2, 3, even though I've been told you can go straight into 2 and not really miss anything out much. I can't do that, so I'll keep trying away, and you never know, I might get through to Mass Effect 1 and be able to play the other 2. Anyway, sort of getting back on topic, saw that. And also this, which has been rated a gold award by Nintendo, the official magazine, so hoping it's as good as it has been rated. It is another Sonic game, it's Sonic Rush Adventure. So That one's got a bit of a crinkly manual, but is otherwise complete. Also looks like the dog has tried to eat the cartridge, but didn't actually clock that at the time. It might work, might not. Might have been done there. If I have, I'll take it back, because that guy's there every week. He's a reseller, but he's generally quite a friendly guy, so fingers crossed it works, and then I don't have to take it back. Anyway, last thing I saw was buried in amongst a big box full of dusty DVDs and about 9 billion variations on Pro Evo and FIFA, and it's Uncharted Drake's Fortune in good nick. It's got the manual, disc is in good nick, and it was 50p, so I do have that one already. I can trade that in for a £5, so it'll get me some of the games that I want, so quite happy with that. Last few things. Now, a bit earlier I mentioned that I'd been to a few different car boots. I decided to try a Saturday one, which is a bit of a stretch, but one of the guys I speak to during me work had sort of put me onto it, and he sort of says, "Oh, you been there?" I was like, "Oh, okay, give it a go." So a few weeks ago I went, and then I went back again last weekend, just for a change, because you do get a bit tired of seeing the same faces there in basically numbers, trying to scoop all the bargains, scoop all the games, full stop really. So anyway, I went there. This is actually from my second visit there, and it's not complete as we say. It's not in the box. It is a Pac-Man Ghost Slide. The reason it's not in the box is because it's currently sat on the telly, plugged in. So yeah, I'm afraid you'll have to imagine this, but this was £3. And being a long time fan of Pac-Man, I had to have it, as the game chasers might say. Anyway, it's good. It's basically just a light which cycles through lots of different colours. I think it can react to music. I haven't really tried that aspect of it yet, but I've got it opposite me plush Pac-Man, so I'm quite happy with that. So these are all from my first visit. Basically, I was lucky enough to happen upon a guy who looked like he was selling a load of doubles. He looked like he was a collector as well, and he had things priced up fairly reasonably. In fact, before I get to that, I found this one on a separate stall. Very happy to find this. The last time I actually saw this for sale was in a game shop in London, which was just off Tottenham Court Road, about 10 years ago. It's a game shop that was quite famous for being the last one around in London for a while. I can't remember the name of it, but it closed down anyway about 4 or 5 years ago, and it was quite sad, because if I went into London I'd sort of take a bit of a detour and have a look in there. Anyway, and this was about 20 quid back then, and it is for the PSP SNK Arcade Classics Volume 1, even though I don't think there are any other volumes released, but there it is. I think this cost me 6 or 7 quid, which I was quite happy to pay, because obviously amongst all the sort of Neo Geo games on there, it's also got one of my favourites, which is Neo Turf Masters. I put a strange amount of money into that, considering it was a golf game. It was definitely a one more go type game. So yeah, you know, it's not your typical sort of Neo Geo game, I suppose. In that it's not a fighter, it's not a shooter. It was just a good game. Anyway, it's got those and 16 classics on one disc. I won't go through them all, but I'm very happy to get that. So yes. So going back to what I was on about before, there was this one guy who was clearing out a load of stuff, and I actually was lucky enough to arrive at this car boot just as he was beginning to unload, and there were already people in his boot. And I must mention this, that particular car boot, it's nice for a bit of variety, but my God, I thought it was bad round by me. As soon as a car pulls up, there is a crowd of roughly 20-25 people in there, and there's people actually in car boots, grabbing things and all sorts. I really don't know how I'd cope if I ever do a car boot. I think I'd probably get arrested, because as far as I'm concerned, I don't know how everyone else feels about this, but if you're taking stuff to a car boot, until it's on the table, then it's not for sale. And you see these poor people, like men and women, young girls, so on. They're trying desperately to get set up, and there's people grabbing all this stuff, and they ask them to put it down, and they get ignored. And I think I'd lose my patience, and I'm quite a patient sort of guy. But I think in that scenario, I'd say, look, until it's on the table, it's not for sale. So get your fucking hands off. Excuse my French, but that's how I see it. People going in your boot, grabbing things, just can't be done. Anyway, returning to the point. Saw this guy laying stuff out, and I was patient. I sort of, you know, over the throngs of people trying to grab everything from out of his boot. I saw some Mega Drive games. So once he'd brought them out, I asked him how much they were, and I think he said they were £5 each. Yeah, they were £5 each. So I was quite happy to pay that. So I got 4. I got Tailspin, and these are all very well looked after again. There's Tailspin. I've got Talmit's Adventure. Oop. Again, very nice condition. I got Super Smash TV, and again, minty. And Empire of Steel, and again, it's lovely. All of these are in beautiful condition. I'm very happy with them, and it's been a long time since I've actually seen some decent quality Mega Drive stuff at a car boot. I mean, I've got to say it's probably got to be 3 or 4 years, but anyway, I picked those up. The rest of the ones he got I'd already got, so very happy to get that. And then a bit later on, I noticed he'd got a couple of Saturn games, one of which I'd already got. This one I hadn't. This one's case needs a bit of a clean, but at least it's a plastic case. It's Sega Touring Car Championship. Unfortunately, it doesn't have the manual, so it is disc only, but it is another Saturn game to add to the collection. So I'm always happy to pick up a Sega racing game, so yeah, we'll give that a go. But that is pretty much everything from the last 3 weeks or so. So all that remains now is for me to say thanks for watching. Some of you may have watched my last video, which is only about 10 minutes long, from a few weeks ago. Might have noticed in the comments someone said they were unsubbing because the audio was too quiet, which I think might be a problem with me mumbling away, but also mean perhaps not selecting the right options when I'm trying to merge the video together with the background. So I'm going to see if I can nail that on this one. Also, and probably more importantly, he mentioned there was a lot of flashing images in the background, which obviously you come to expect. If you're filming a CRT TV, you're going to get scan 9s and so on, but I appreciate it's probably been made worse by the fact it's been green screened as a background on behind me. So I'm going to see if I can find a way to nail that. I've still got to film a replacement background to merge with that previous video, which I have said I'll do, but I just haven't had the time recently, what with the football and work and so on. It's been very difficult to find a few minutes to call me home. I mean, I'm actually filming this on my day off, on a day off from work. So incidentally, England play this evening, so won't be getting much done this evening. Anyway, hopefully I'll nail the backgrounds problem and the sound problem. Stick with me. Like I say, I'm trying to keep these videos fairly frequent and of reasonable quality. I'm obviously learning all the time with all this video editing stuff. I don't profess to be an expert. This is a hobby that sometimes I don't get very much time to complete. So I'll nevertheless try and learn as I go and improve things. I'm never going to be competing with the high production values of some of the bigger channels out there, but I'll try my best. So yeah, thanks for all of those of you who are sticking with me. like I say, I'll try and keep the content flowing, try and get some gameplay footage up and some streaming up, and obviously try and nail the background and voice volume issues. So anyway, that's enough waffle about all that. So as I say, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you again soon. Cheers.